Yo, what's up, people? I developed this system called the Masculine Medicine Rating System. Okay, I put this together myself. I spent a long time thinking about it. I spent a lifetime considering what the most important factors are to being a masculine man. Okay, and really, the results of this, okay, so it's not just about, oh, if you get high scores on this, you're a masculine man. No, if you get high scores on this, you are winning in life. You're not just masculine, you are winning at every aspect as a man. So let's get straight into this. So I have developed this system, which is about how many? It's 35 different factors that you need to work on as a man. Now, I know that sounds a little bit daunting, but just bear with me. We're going to go through them. 35 different factors that you need to actually work on as a man. Some of them you don't get to work on because it says genes, okay? Money and status, self-improvement. So I'm going to get to all this in a second. Now, we're going to go through each and every factor really swiftly. Then I'm going to go through my own scores. Now, as we start, so I give an example. A score, obviously out of 10, 10 is the most elite level. For example, Leonardo DiCaprio is a 10 on social status, okay? So down here where it says social status, career path, someone like Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be a 10, okay? Hollywood famous star, don't need to explain why he's a 10 out of 10. Let's go through it one by one. So business and career, are you employed or do you have your own business? Now you're going to give yourself a score from 1 to 10 here. How do you feel? This is all subjective, okay? You fill this out, not someone else, okay? You're going to fill this out yourself. How do you feel about your current business, your current career? Are you employed? Do you have your own business? How do you feel that's actually going for you, and where would you rate that out of 10? You'll see here on the right, there's different categories. Okay, the first set of categories is money and status. The second set of categories is genes. We know there's not too much you can do about that. And then, this is the nice part, the rest of it is self-improvement. Look how many factors are self-improvement. It looks like about 75 to 80% of the ratings are self-improvement, okay? Which means that you can do a big job of improving your life. And it isn't just about the money and about your genes. And if you don't have money and you're not tall and beautiful, that's it, it's over for you. Okay, that's not true, because look how many self-improvement factors there are. So, we went through the first one. Now, social status, career path, titles, online presence, okay? Who are you in society? Do you represent someone or something? Do you have status? Do you have followers? Do you have a YouTube page? Are you a CEO? Are you a senior member of a team or a board somewhere of a company? Okay, so that's what social status is. You should already know that. Assets and investments, cash flowing assets. Okay, some of these get detailed, and it's okay, be completely honest with yourself. What I'm going to do after I've gone through every single one of these is I'm going to go through my own scores with you and tell you what I rated myself. I've also done it with my friends. Financial, money in the bank, do you have security funds? Again, let me just explain, this is subjective. So to some people, if they've got $10,000 in their account, they might feel like that's very secure, so they might put an 8 out of 10. But for other people's perspectives, they might think that $100,000 is actually an 8 out of 10 and that $10,000 is a 2 out of 10. Okay, so don't worry about other people's opinions. Just input your own figures into this rating scale. Your own subjective figures, how you personally feel. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. How you feel about how your life is going. Not necessarily about other people's subjective opinions about all these statements. And you know what, if you're actually intrigued, then you can ask others at a later point. But for now, let's start with yourselves. The house you live in, the car that you drive, do you have a nice watch, nice accessories? Do you have a nice laptop bag? Do you have nice things in your life? Okay, this is all related to money and status, everything we've just discussed. Now we're moving on to genes. General level of natural beauty, face symmetry, features. Okay, now you saw a video recently that I did from a website called attractiveness-test.com, which literally gives you a 0 to 10 rating on your face symmetry and your features and your natural beauty. Now that's genes. You can't change that unless you get plastic surgery, which, hey, people do. Intelligence IQ level. There is a certain level of that being your genes. If your parents were both maths professors, it's likely that you're going to be good at maths. Height, are you over 6 foot? Let's assume 6'4" is 10 out of 10. Okay, so I've done a bunch of different research on the best height, and it's actually for a male, it's actually 6'2" to 6'4" has been rated the best height for a male. Okay, it's not necessarily if you're 6'10", then you're more attractive than a guy who's 6 foot. That's not true. There is an ideal height that women actually like, and I'm going to go here with I've assumed that 6'4" is a 10 out of 10. Okay. Levels of testosterone, believe it or not, it starts off as being something in your genes initially, okay? Now you can change that and adapt that. So this actually should be genes and self-improvement, okay? Because people are doing all sorts of stuff, TRT, pumping themselves with all sorts of chemicals to raise their testosterone levels. I don't believe in using those chemicals. I actually believe in doing it in a natural way, and I've discussed that many, many a times, and we'll go into that detail. Right, now we're on to self-improvement. Education level degree. Okay, so are you educated or have you got no education whatsoever? Emotional intelligence, self-awareness. This is quite an important one here. There are a lot of people with money and status. There are a lot of people who are beautiful. There are not many people who are beautiful and rich. That's a very small proportion of people. But if they also have emotional intelligence and they're sympathetic to others, and they understand their woman and they have good relationships, then they'll have a high emotional intelligence. Next one, emotional control. Don't get angry at people. Calm demeanor. Think James Bond attitude. Okay, that explains itself. General life attitude, positive outlook or negative. That's also a level of self-belief. Body image, V shape, wide shoulders, six-pack, low body fat, muscles, but also an athletic look, not a bodybuilder. Okay. So that one's quite clear, what I'm really asking for there. There's plenty more, so let's keep cracking on. Do you control your use of vices, alcohol, defined as healthy and moderate? Do you eat healthy, good diet? This is tied in with body image. Okay, so remember, you're giving yourself a score from 1 to 10 on every single factor, and you're about to see my ratings. And I'll explain why I've given myself that rating. Grooming, trimmed beard, nice hair, trimmed eyebrows. Okay, some of you think that trimming your eyebrows is not masculine, but if you've got super bushy eyebrows, then I would probably recommend that you trim them and make them look a little bit more refined. I don't want a monobrow, okay? If you're telling me that by being masculine, I should not touch my eyebrows, but if I've got a monobrow, nah, dude, I'm definitely going to chop that shit off. Skin color. Do you have an optimal tan? Are you the optimal sort of skin color? Sometimes with a tan, I actually raise up a couple of notches and a couple of points, okay? And when I'm sort of pale, I would actually drop my rating out of 10 on that one. Skin cleanliness, acne. Personal hygiene, cologne, white teeth. General posture, stance, how you stand, how you walk. Fashion sense and style. Do you have well-fitted clothes? Are you a family man, supporting family and staying in touch? Commands the attention of women. Women stare at you in public. It's an interesting one, that one. I like that one. Let's keep going. Follow me on the screen here. Confidence. Do you have presence when you walk into a room? If anyone tells me that that's not important, then you're a fool. Do you command respect from other men when they meet you? Charisma. When you speak, do people listen? Again, very important factor. If you think that's not important, you're delusional. General use of vocabulary. The tone and sound of your voice. Do you have a deep voice is actually regarded as more masculine, so a deeper masculine voice would get a higher rating here. General masculinity defined by looks, but also actions. Are you unfazed by women's shit tests, her emotional outbursts, and her insults? So the more you're unfazed, the higher your rating will be there. Decisiveness, ability to make decisions for men and women. Decisiveness is more masculine and is a trait that's deemed to be actually more useful, okay, as a man. Defined purpose, defined path, seen as a man who is unavailable for time wasting. Social circle, who you hang out with, do you have a strong network? And finally, where you hang out, membership clubs and social scenes. Okay, so there's a bunch of different factors you need to consider here. Really think about it as you go through this. I'm going to attach the worksheet to this YouTube video so that you guys can actually go ahead and input the scores. Okay, so I'll actually attach a copy of the worksheet, or the best way for me to do it actually is to get you to make a copy of the worksheet. So I'll attach a version of the worksheet. You will make a copy of this worksheet so that you can work on it yourselves. And here at the bottom, you'll see a very simple equation which takes the average of all of them from B3 to B37. So you'll take the average of all of these. Now, let's go to my personal scores. Check out what I gave myself. Okay, here we go. Right, so I believe, yes, fine. Now, these are the two that I've given myself. I'm just going to delete these guys. These are my friends so that they don't get in your way. Okay, and then I'm just going to shift this over here. Okay, right. I'm also going to make myself a little bit smaller. There you go. Okay, perfect. Right, so let's kick this off. So for me, business and career, are you employed? Do you have your own business? I gave myself a 7, okay? I have a good business. I have a good career path with what I'm doing with masculine medicine. I'm confident about it. I'm happy with it. Is it exploding? Does it make me millions of dollars a year? No, that's why it's not a 9 or a 10, okay? So I've personally given myself there a 7. It's a solid score. I'm happy with that. Social status, career path, titles, online presence. I've given myself a 7 there, okay? I'm the CEO of my own investment company, and I have a Instagram presence with a bunch of followers. And when you look at my Instagram, you'll see that I actually have a level of social status, okay? I hang out in nice places. I've got cool friends. I travel around the world. I have a high social status for a man, so I've given myself a 7 there. Now, I don't need to explain why I haven't given myself a 10. Okay, a 10 is me being, Andrew Tate probably gets a 9 or a 10 on social status because he's one of the most famous people on the planet now. Okay, so you see how that one works. Assets and investments, I gave myself a 7. I have money in real estate and money in the stock market. Okay, so I actually have assets and investments. Cash flowing assets, I do have cash flowing assets. At the moment, they're not flowing me large sums of money, so I've given myself a 6. Once they do flow much larger sums of money, I'll give myself a higher rating there. If they're flowing me 100K a month in passive income, then that's going to be an 8 or a 9. 10s are very hard to give, to be honest. Financial money in the bank security funds. Now, interestingly, I've given myself a 6 here, and then I rescored myself and gave it a 7, but I'm going to just stick to this column here that I'm working on. So I do have a significant amount of money in the bank. I've got 7 figures in the bank. So I don't know why I've given myself a 6 there, but this is subjective to me, okay? To some people with 7 figures in the bank, they would give themselves a 10. I'm going to give myself a 6. It's just my own subjective viewpoint. House that you live in, car that you drive, nice watch, nice accessories. I have a beautiful home in London. I have a beautiful watch. I have nice accessories. I have the latest Apple Mac. I've got the latest iPhone. I'm giving myself an 8 there. General level of natural beauty, face symmetry, features, 7. Now, I don't know whether that's being too nice or not nice enough, but I think I've probably ranged there between 6 and 7, okay? So I think I gave myself the benefit of the doubt there with a 7. Intelligence and IQ level. So I've got a pretty decent IQ. I went to one of the top colleges in the world, and so I ran with an 8 there. I was quite lucky that I have that natural level of intelligence. Height, are you over 6 foot? So I'm not. I'm actually 5'11", but when I wear shoes or sneakers that give me that little extra inch, then I hit 6 foot. So I'm going to run with an 8 out of 10 there, okay? If I was 6'2", I'd probably be a 9 out of 10. But because I just about hit 6 foot with shoes, I'm 5'11" without them, I've given myself an 8. So I'm about the right height for a man. Levels of testosterone. I'm pretty bloody testosterone fueled. I mean, I'm an animal in the gym, and I've always got this level of sort of anger and drive and protection, and I've got high levels of testosterone, so I'm going to run with a 9 there. Education level degree. Again, I went to a top 10 university in the world, so I've put a 9 out of 10 there. Okay. Emotional intelligence, self-awareness. I gave myself a super high score there, again, because I do feel like I've got a very good level of emotional intelligence. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing masculine medicine. I wouldn't bother about trying to help other people in their life. I'd just go off and be an investment banker or be a trader and make shit tons of money and not care about other people. Just destroy them all and be like, I'll make my money and who cares about the rest. It's not true at all. I've actually got quite high levels of emotional intelligence. I love my family. I care a lot about my friends. And when someone tells me a bad story about themselves, I really feel it within. Emotional control. Don't get angry at people. Calm demeanor. Think James Bond. Give myself an 8. I do think I can be pretty calm, especially when I am sober and I've been to the gym a few days in a row and I'm feeling good, and I don't get angry at people. I'm pretty well got a good attitude there. So I gave myself an 8. Funny how I rescored it there as a 7 at a later date. General life attitude, positive outlook or negative, also self-belief. I've got a really good life attitude. I'm pretty positive. I walked around today and I was just like happy walking around in the morning. Body image, V-shape, wide shoulders, six-pack, low body fat, muscles. Now listen, I'm sitting here with a six-pack. I've got a big chest. I've got wide shoulders. I've got the V-shape. I gave myself a 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 is 10 out of 10. It means perfection. I don't give 10s. Do you control your use of vices, alcohol? Yes, I really can. So when I don't want to touch any alcohol or any vices or any drugs, I simply do not. And so I've got the level of self-control. That doesn't mean that you don't drink. That just means you can control it. Do you eat healthy? I eat fantastically healthy when I want to. Obviously at Christmas I indulged. I ate all sorts of turkey and stuffing, etc., etc. But in general, my diet is super clean Mediterranean diet. We can do videos about that at a later stage. Grooming, trimmed beard, nice hair, trimmed eyebrows. Yeah, I think, I haven't trimmed it for a couple of days, but in general, it's well trimmed, it's well shaped. I get rid of the excess hair that's there and that's there. And my eyebrows, I make sure I don't have a monobrow, and I kind of clean it up a little bit just underneath there. So I've given myself an 8. Skin color optimal tan. Now, I gave myself a 9 because I was probably in Miami at the time. So I said I was a 9 at that stage. Because when I have a tan, I feel like I look like a bloody Adonis Greek god. Now I'm in Budapest, I've kind of lost a little bit of that color. But I'm going to leave it at 9. I'm not going to change that just yet. Skin cleanliness, acne. I'm going to give that an 8. I don't get terrible acne on my skin. I do get some acne, that's why it's not a 9. So I'm going to leave that at an 8. Personal hygiene, cologne, white teeth. My teeth are pretty good. Cologne, I'm always sprayed well. I always smell good. I always put sort of deodorant or roller stick. So I'd like to think I never smell. General posture, stance, how you stand, how you walk. A lot of people have said to me in the past that, especially girls, they're like, the way I stand, my stance, how I walk is very masculine. I walk like a man. I don't walk with my head down, or like I don't have a bad posture. I walk proud and strong, chest up, neck straight, and I just walk. So a lot of people have actually commented on that, and I gave myself a 9 there for a reason. Fashion sense and style. I think I've got well-fitted clothes. I think I dress pretty well. Today I'm just in a t-shirt, just chilling here at the co-working space in Budapest. Family man, supporting family, staying in touch. I love my family. I speak to my mother pretty much every day. I adore my nephews and my brothers, and I bought them their freedom. When I was very successful in business, I bought my brothers in. I bought my parents a house. I bought my brothers their freedom. They don't need to work a 9 to 5 anymore. They now do whatever they want, and they've got enough money in the bank to live and invest. So I'm a massive family man. And again, if I could give a 10, I would, because I've almost done everything I needed to do for the family. But I'm not going to give a 10 because, as I said, I don't give 10s because that's perfection. And I don't think perfection necessarily exists. Commands the attention of women. Women stare at you in public. Being a little bit vain here, but they do. Confidence, do you have presence when you walk into a room? So this is something I really do notice. When I walk into a room, people notice me. I think it's just my energy, my demeanor, my vibe. I walk in, I'm like, bang, I'm here. What's going on? People notice that I've walked in. I'm not meek, I'm not timid. I walk in with confidence. I walk in with my head held high. I walk into a room like a G, and people are like, yo, who's this? And also I'm usually dressed quite well. I've got my nice Rolex on. I'm looking the part, and all of that comes into play. Do you command respect from other men when they meet you? Yes, I certainly do. I have a good career, I've got a good path, I speak clearly, I speak like a man, and other men realize that they better listen and they better, treat me with respect. So I give myself a 9. Charisma, when you speak, do people listen? Well, I hope so. I hope you guys are watching this video. In general, yes, when I do public talks, people do listen because I've got quite a commanding voice. And these are the things I've noticed. Again, this is subjective. Someone else might give me a 4, but I don't care what others give me right now. These are my scores, and at a later date, you can get someone to maybe test yours. General use of vocabulary. I'd like to think I've got good vocab. The tone and sound of your voice. Deep voice, more masculine. I'd like to think I've got a deep voice. And so, I don't speak like that. I speak with a little bit more masculine. It's deep. It's got some bass in it. I give myself an 8. General masculinity, are you unfazed by shit tests and her outbursts? Yes, in general I am. I don't take girls' shit tests. I don't fall for it. I'm just like, whatever, darling. Don't care. I'm moving on. I've got more important things to do in life. I could be better, which is why I've given myself a 7. Decisiveness, I'm pretty good at making decisions. I'm usually a leader. I usually decide what we should do on a night out, to go to restaurants. I'm not like, oh, whatever you want. I'm like, oh, let's go to this restaurant. I found it on Google. It's got great reviews. It's got loads of reviews. We should eat sushi, or we should eat this Thai food we haven't eaten for a while. Let's go there. Bang, I'll make the decision and we're off. Defined purpose. I'd like to think now that I've started this brand, Masculine Medicine, I've definitely got more of a defined purpose. And I'd actually raise this, but I don't want to change it right now. I'm going to leave it at a 7. Social circle, who you associate with, strong network. Now, I've given myself a 6, and I've got to say, that's gone up because I've got a pretty strong social circle. I mean, I know people across the world, and my contacts are pretty strong. And I know a hell of a lot of people who can take me to good places. So I'm not sure why I gave myself a 6. Maybe at that current time, I felt like I was not hanging around people who were successful. So I wrote a 6. That's just what it was like at the time. Obviously, these numbers can change, by the way. Where you hang out, membership clubs, social scenes. Yeah, I tend to hang out in some good places. At the time, I think I was in London when I produced this, and I was at a private members club called the Ned on the rooftop. So I thought, I guess I hang out in good places. So my average score, 7.97. Basically, I've given myself an 8 if you round it up, which you might as well do. And then when I retested myself, it was 7.85. But because I'd probably raise a couple of them, my defined purpose is probably more defined now, and if I did that, you'd see that it just starts going up a little bit more. Anyway, guys, I've given myself an 8 out of 10 on the Masculine Medicine rating system, okay? Which means that I'm pretty high up there in terms of how I'm doing as a man, okay? And that kind of makes sense because I've got my shit together, okay? No, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm just saying, like, I've got millions of dollars, I'm in great shape, girls I never have a problem with. I've got a number of women across the world who want my attention. I could have been married by now, but I chose not to. I chose to just sort of play the field and have some fun. In general, a lot of this stuff goes my way as a man. I live a pretty good life as a man, so I think 8 out of 10 makes a bit of sense. And I'm connected to a lot of the powerful men as well in this space, okay? The likes of sort of Justin Waller. I'm one person away from Andrew Tate. If I really wanted to sort of speak to him, I could have access to him. And also one of my other good friends, Rob Lipset, actually, the fitness influencer. I've got him on WhatsApp. I can speak to him anytime. I look forward to doing sort of Zoom calls with these guys at some point because they're all great. Now, what sort of average scores? So, for example, let's think Justin Waller. If I'm an 8 out of 10, Justin Waller's probably a 9 to a 9.5, okay? Because he's got more wealth than I have, and he's got much more social status now because he's become pretty famous across all these platforms, right? So he's going to be a 9 or a 9.5. Now, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be a 9.5. I don't really give 10s, 10 10 assumes perfection across every single factor, and that's almost impossible, almost impossible, let's be honest. So Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be a 9.5, 9.6, 9.7, let's just say. Brad Pitt, 9.6, 9.7. Now, your average Joe walking down the street is not going to be up in these sorts of levels. Your average Joe earning an average salary with an average body, with an average girlfriend, with average accessories, with average across the whole board is going to get a 5 out of 10, okay? So that means you're an average guy, you're at 5 out of 10, and then it gives you some sort of scope for improvement. So the reason I've developed this scale is so that you could see where you need to improve. If you're a 5 out of 10, then see where you've given yourself low marks. I've highlighted here in yellow the parts where I need to work on. So I've highlighted that I need to work more on when girls insult me and how I deal with shit tests. My defined purpose, which now I'd actually say is higher. My social circle, I could always be socializing with more, with and building a stronger network. So I put yellow there, and then I put yellow up here, for example. General level of natural beauty, face asymmetry. Okay, I put a 7. I could try and improve that, but too hard. I can't really change. Now, Let's see here. Again, I said I need to improve on business and career. I said I need to improve on my investments. I need to improve on my cash flowing assets. And this is me talking here who's got 7 figures in the bank and 7 figures in investments. So to me personally, I think I need to improve on those things. So those are the things that I personally need to improve on. So you should fill this out, find out what makes sense for you, what you need to improve, and then this will give you some sort of idea on, hey, what should I be working on as a man? Maybe your beard is not trimmed very well. Maybe your personal hygiene is horrible. Maybe you bloody don't wear cologne every day, which you should. Maybe your teeth are a little bit brown. If I click on another random one here, I don't know, charisma. When you speak to people, listen, maybe you don't speak with enough prowess and enough strength. So these are all things that you can actually work on as a man. And as you can see, most of them are in the self-improvement category. Okay? So I hope this has been helpful. I've certainly enjoyed presenting this to you. I love this. This is like my Bible for masculinity. So please go through it. I will put a link in the description, which will be a copy of this. And then I'll expect you to make a copy of that and put it in your own files and fill this out so you get your own average score. Okay? Any questions or any comments, please leave it below. Thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys are great. A lot of your comments have been super helpful. I do read your comments. I'm loving building this community, and let's keep doing this for the sake of man. All right, brothers. See you in the next video.